Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome to another episode of Truly Bedrock Season 1. It is episode 16 today, and today we're going to be doing a bunch of different things around the world. We have quite a few different shenanigans and technical bits we need to get to. That looks very strange, stranger than normal. But yes, we have a lot of stuff to do. The first thing that I'd like to do today is just take a look at the shopping district. This place has kind of advanced and evolved quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. We have tons of new builds popping up in the area, and overall I just like seeing the different progression and the different evolution of the shopping district, because you get all these different build styles in one small area, and then everything gets super crowded and compact, and I just like seeing it all come together. You can really see it very nicely from up here at our shop. And mind the spare slack lizard that we have sitting around here. He's experiencing some realm issues where he is technically logged in, but he's not like actually logged in. So yeah, one of those things. I came over here and surrounded him with some blocks. Someone put dye right up there. That was not me. But you know what? I cannot allow them to have the highest block, so we're gonna get right back up on top of there and place another block on top of that, because yeah, I just can't allow that. I put this build here, and I must have the tallest block on top of it. There we go. I feel like that's totally fine. But yeah, I saved him from getting killed by phantoms, so that was our good deed of the day. Anyway, we do have this little shop down here that we should have some profits in. Yes, we do. So people have been renting out the beacons. That is good. I'm thinking once we get that raid farm set up, we'll allow them to rent a beacon plus a full beacon base. That should be very, very profitable indeed. And then we should also have some profits up here from our obsidian, or maybe not. Any of this? Oh, we do have some from the ender chest, so that's good. So at least those are selling. And then nothing anywhere else. I really need to do an end raid sometime very soon. So later on in this episode, we're gonna set up some auto storage at our village, because that is something that we desperately need. And then hopefully after that, we'll have time to set up some other redstone stuff too. I have some fun ideas that hopefully we'll be able to work out. However, before we get to those things, there's a couple things that we need to deal with here at the actual, double spawner, our skeleton and zombie drowned farm. So I basically just want to make this place a lot nicer than it currently is, because right now it is kind of janky. This place gets a lot of use, like way more than I ever really anticipated, which is why it's kind of janky. I didn't think it would be in use this long. But other people on the server, not entirely sure. They use this thing quite frequently as well. As you can see, it's a great source of bones. And we also use our AFK fish farm over here. I did go ahead and expand the storage quite a bit. Did I really? I forgot to hook up these 3 double chests of books. How did those get in there if this isn't? Okay, well, I clearly didn't do that one very successfully. So this is what I mean. We gotta upgrade this place. I need to set up a lighting system to turn off these spawners, because right now what I'm doing when I want to go AFK fish is I just kind of break the glass, put the torches in there, and yeah, then things don't spawn. So I need to make this place a lot more proper. We should probably make these guys look a little bit nicer too, because these guys were actual real villagers at one point. But I mean, you can probably tell what happened to them. So just came to the nether for some glowstone, and I found a little bit of a dance party going on. These guys are having an excellent time. I think I will go back to my roots as a pig man. And that stuff didn't go into lava, did it? Okay, good. And I'm just gonna have a little bit of a dance party over here. So after about an hour or so of just kind of messing around with these places, our zombie villagers now have some proper sellage going on and looking way better than before when we had all those dirty blocks and bad spaces and nonsense like that. Also went ahead and threw in some bone blocks to make it look like I care mildly about the, structural integrance of this place. Integrity, there we go, words. I know them real well. And yeah, also organized all of the storage over here. So we got storage for all the fish farm drops. We got storage for our inventory when we go AFK. More random storage. Rotten flesh can go up there. We have plenty of that stuff. And then we also have several hundred tridents, of course, which we will never ever use. We also got just bone block storage, and overall place is looking pretty good. Expanded the storage down here, made it look much nicer too. I need to sort through that in a moment. And then finally, the hardest part of this entire build was deciding where to put the lever, because there's not very many places to put the lever, so I just put it right there. That'll power that light and that light over there, and then give us nice, you know, niceness for AFKing at the fish farm. That way we don't have to worry about any of these butts over here. So maybe the redstone lamp wasn't a great idea. I probably should have tested that first. So if you're aware of the current state of the Pebble versus Diamonds war, we are currently trying to win over more allies to the Pebble economy, of course. So I've been in talks with Blue Jay because he has his fish in a barrel shop, and this is basically the farming area for all the things that he sells. So I'm trying to gather up nautilus shells, pufferfish, name tags, you know, god fishing rods, you know, cooked down fish, basically anything aquatic that I possibly can. That way I can supply his shop and then have Blue Jay just sell for pebbles, thoroughly gathering up a new ally for our Pebble Alliance, of course. So what I did is I went through all of our fish farm loot before I did this overnight session and found that we can make ourselves about 5 god rods. So all of these have all the enchantments required to make a fully decked out fishing rod, like the one that you see right here, basically luck, lure, unbreaking, and mending. So I'm gonna go ahead and make as many of these as I possibly can with my 96 levels. Some of these are actually very, very expensive to combine. I've spent 10 levels on most of these, so I just made 4 of these god rods and got all the way down to 11 levels, so I can see why he wants to sell these. They're actually kind of difficult to get if you can't just fish one out of the ocean. I believe we fished this one directly out of the ocean. We don't need to do anything to it besides repair it, so I'm gonna go ahead and sit over here for a while, mend all of these things up. A surprising amount of mending later, we have ourselves 6 fully enchanted god rods, and we also have the ability to make 4 more if we ever get enough levels to do that. It's seriously very expensive to combine these things, but now we're actually gonna head over to the squid farm because we have even more things over there that Blue Jay is willing to buy from us, and we've also done a ton of work over there too. So let's go check it out. So on a live stream, we've done quite a bit of work around here. We have completed the entire perimeter, so this thing is now pumping out a bunch of squids. And I mean like a bunch. We have a proper amount of ink sacs in this thing now, like 6 stacks, which is pretty cool. And we also have literally all of the fish that you could ever even consider wanting to eat. It's just an absolutely ridiculous amount that we're all going to be selling to Blue Jay, and we did a lot of expansion to the redstone of this thing as well. So as you can see, we have ourselves a couple of bamboo farms. Those bamboo farms run straight into the smoker array. These things will smelt down your fishies at double speed, but of course they will also use your fuel at double speed, so these things basically never keep up. But yeah, all of those smelted down fishies go into here, and as you can see, we have kind of a lot. However, it's not actually that efficient. I did the math, and the math is not very nice to us. On this one, we need a full stack of bone blocks in order to smelt down 2 stacks and 19 of cooked fish. I knew bamboo was a terrible fuel source, but I didn't know it was that bad. Like, come on, that's actually terrible. Luckily, we do get a lot of bones from this thing, from the fish. The fish on Bedrock Edition drop bones, and we actually have ourselves like a fair amount of bone blocks, so we can also sell these things. Or I'll most likely just use all of this just to smelt down the fish, because we have like 8 double chests of fish. And yeah, I can literally feed the entire server for a month on that. But yeah, these things are pretty nice. We also have a couple extra levers as well. That one and that one right there. That'll drain the fish from our storage, pump it right into our smelter array. And once all 4 of these things are going, this is a very, very clicky build. We have a lot of auto droppers in this thing. And this is what I mean by very, very clicky. Very, very clicky. You do not underestimate me when I say it's very clicky. So overall, we have this entire shulker box right here and this entire shulker box of fish that we're planning to stock in Blue Jay's shop and get paid for. Now, if you have any other suggestions for things that we should, help him get stock for, please do leave a comment down below. There's quite a bit of nautical items actually, so we could do things like, you know, water breathing potions and the turtle master potions. We could do conduits even. There's a lot of different things that we could do, so please do leave a comment down below if you have any additional ideas, and then I'll also have to talk to him about stuff that he wants to get stocked too. But moving on from there, I think we need to start building ourselves some storage, and this is actually going to be kind of a mild headache because we don't actually have that much room. So this is the original build site that I wanted to put our automated storage system, and as you can see, it's fairly wide and fairly long as well. It's basically the biggest building in this entire village, and I knew we were basically going to completely fill it up with storage. However, originally I was planning on building the small multi-item sorter that I've done a tutorial on many months ago. I should probably do a revised version sometime soon, but basically that thing is cute and tiny, but it doesn't actually have that much storage to it. But I was thinking we should probably go ahead and build up Tangoteks modified storage system for Bedrock. That's something I also did a tutorial on, and that thing is really good. However, it is like 13 blocks long, so you can see I marked it out here. This would be one section of the sorter, this would be another one, and this would be a third one. So we need to expand the building by one block that way, because these things are 4 blocks wide. And basically this would be the front of it, the redstone would be going all the way back to over here. So they're quite massive, they're really tall as well. I should probably make a new version of it, honestly, try and compact it down a little bit. Most of that bulk comes from the actual item elevators. Item elevators on Bedrock Edition that are silent are super massive. It's honestly ridiculous. If we had quasi connectivity, it would not even be an issue, but instead they're like 8 blocks long, and it's just ridiculous. So what I'm thinking we'll do is we're going to lower down this floor. So this will be like the entrance somewhere around here, probably, you know, right about here or so. And then we're going to dig this down by about 3 or 4 blocks so the elevators and the towers of the sorting system aren't super tall above ground. And then, yeah, we're gonna dig out this entire area, fill it with 3 sorters, which will actually be a lot of storage, and then that will be our building done. So let me do a little bit of excavation with the undermined shovel, and we'll see what we got to work with. All right, so I've marked out the room that we need for 3 of these really big sorters, and as you can see, it's actually a fairly sizable area. We had to dig out quite a bit of room. So there's gonna be the main door right there, some stairs going down, and then this will be the main platform that you stand on to access all of your chests, which will be in line with this cobblestone. From there, the redstone is gonna go down by 4 blocks, and then it's gonna go all the way up to that level right there. So basically 11 blocks tall in total, and then we're gonna need a couple blocks above that even just to, you know, be able to access it and service it, be able to stand on top of it basically. So even by digging out that much room, it's still gonna be fairly tall. Luckily, we actually don't have anything else in this area, so we can build a taller building if we want. I have no idea what we're gonna do for the building. Not a builder, I'm a technical person, so I'm gonna go ahead and gather up all the resources that we need for this, fail at jumping on that pillar. Tiz Tom is invading my redstone. Too bad I don't have any rockets to stop him. He shot first, by the way, he shot first. There's an arrow over here somewhere to probably prove it, or maybe I picked it up, but yeah, hi. So far I just laid out the chests, and as you can see, this is going to be a lot of storage. I think it's 36 double chests in total, which should be more than enough for our needs at the moment. And I low-key and kind of hoping that he crashes into a wall and dies, just because that would be hilarious. Well, that looks pretty cool, I will say, and normally the fog doesn't do anything justice, but that actually looks kind of cool in orange. It wasn't much redder a minute ago. But so far, I have a significant amount of the actual storage system built up, so I haven't been doing this in any particular order. However, if I do one thing on one sorter, I also do it on the other 2 as well, so I'm just kind of building all 3 at one time, and I am not doing this from any tutorial. I'm just kind of going off of some screenshots that I got, and hopefully that does not come back later to bite me in the butt. So a couple hours of chill building later, this system should be more or less completely done. There is a lot of observers and a lot of redstone shenanigans going on in here. Again, the one wide tileable silent elevators on Bedrock Edition are absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they are a total of 8 blocks long. They start from right here and then they go all the way back to there. It's just massive, the things that we have to do. And it's ridiculous, the things that we have to do in order to get nice things on this platform. But I mean, it does fully function, so that's cool. Well, actually, you know what? I'm not entirely sure if this build on the server actually fully functions. Haven't done a test run of it. We can't do a test run until we actually fill in every single double chest completely filled with items, because that is how multi-item sorting systems work. Every single slot and every single double chest of this system needs to be completely filled in order for the system to know what you want sorted where. So for instance, if we lay out this entire chest with torches and fish and ender pearls and slabs, that is the only thing that will be sorted into this chest. If we leave an empty slot in there, the next random item to come through the system is just going to end up in that slot. For instance, our trident could end up right there. So you got to have every single slot completely filled in for the system to actually work. And of course, filling in every slot and deciding how you want everything to be sorted and laid out, that is a very time-consuming project. I've done this kind of system like 50 times now, and I'm still no quicker at laying out those items. Extremely particular about how I lay out my items. So moving on from the redstone of this project, let's take a minute and focus on the actual decoration of it, mostly because there's not really that much more redstone to do. There's a creeper back there. Let's go ahead and kill that guy real quick because he's annoying. But anyway, what I did discover from marking out the pillars and marking out the general wall of this thing is that we're gonna have a very flat wall if we actually keep these pillars right here. As you can see, we can't really move the wall inwards. Hello, spider, you scared me. But we can move these pillars outwards, which is actually gonna put them past like those corner pillars. That's gonna give us kind of an oval shape, which is gonna be good and interesting. That'll keep it from being so flat and square, which is usually the downfall of a lot of builds, especially the ones in this village. There's a square house, that one's a square house, that's square, that one's square, that one's got like 3 squares. Basically everything in this village is a square. So I mean, if we can get away from that, that might be slightly good. And then we can push out these pillars too. So this will give it a little bit more shape, hopefully make it look a little bit more interesting. I don't have like a vision for the final product of this building. I honestly never do. I just kind of build up a foundation, build up some walls, and then just kind of go from there. And honestly, that's been working out pretty okay. So that's exactly what we're gonna do today as well. So a little bit of work has been done on decorating the inside of this thing. And as you can see, it is looking pretty snazzy in here. As soon as you walk in, your head height with the top layer of chest, and you can actually see some of that dirt in the background. Gonna need to go replace that back wall of some stone, but yeah, this room looks pretty fancy. I'm kind of liking it. Of course, once we fill in all the items, it's gonna have a lot more, you know, character to it. And then I also put in some of these little bits in the walls just to give it a little bit more detail and some light and some structure. I put some of those guys underneath the stairs too. They are kind of scary looking. They might grab your ankles as you're walking down. And the other major thing that I need to figure out is the roof for this giant flat building. Not sure what I'm gonna do there. It's basically just gonna be giant flat roof. I mean, it's not gonna look the most interesting. I'm gonna have to figure out some ways to give it some shape and give it some character, because otherwise this entire building is gonna look kind of garbage. And I mean, that's about what I expected when I started building it, but I mean, it's not what I want to be the reality. So we need to figure out some sort of roof. I don't know, I want to put like a little tower on it. That wouldn't look right. I just don't have any good ideas for how to make it look right. So I'm just gonna kind of wing it and hopefully it works. So let's take a look at this roof from the upper mountain range, because I feel like making it oval shaped was probably the best idea I had in this entire episode. So if we hop up here, you can see, yeah, that's not super terrible. It is very square. You got the 4 corners right there. But then on the big flat faces, it kind of just bunches out by a block, which is a total lifesaver. We can add a lot more shape to that at the bottoms as well. And I just need to figure out what to do for the general roof. Honestly, pretty big building. So if I keep on stacking up this roof at the rate that I am, it's gonna become very, very tall and look very, very weird. So my current plan is just fill it in at this current layer right here, which is only about, 4 slabs up, or about 2 blocks taller than the actual building. This is gonna leave it on a lower half slab, and it gives us room to do something interesting with like a skylight in the center. So I just marked out the central 2x2. I'm thinking we'll have a big like 4x4 skylight so that as you're flying around above, you can see down into the redstone and just stuff like that. It's about the only real, actually half decent idea I have for this roof. And this roof is the one part that I'm actually paranoid about because it's just like a big old flat thing and it looks mildly bad. Okay, so I did something extremely stupid and derpy on top of the roof. Now, just bear with me, okay? But I do like the height of it actually, because it actually gives this guard tower like a perfect view of that gate over there, over the entire wall. Like it doesn't really block any of the wall except like right there. But you can still see invaders like that sheep. Goodbye, sheep. I said goodbye, sheep. Can I really? There we go. Goodbye, sheep. Thank you for your patronage. But yeah, you can see all the gates from this tower, which is kind of perfect, except those buildings in the way, but we'll have other towers. And yeah, so the roof is looking pretty good from this angle. However, if we go up and actually see this thing in the air, then you'll see that I did a derpy thing on it. And that derpy thing is an orange sad guardian. It's kind of hard to see, and it's kind of really derpy and stupid, but it's kind of a guardian. Can you see it? It's like the eyeball, and then we got the little spiky bits, and yeah, like I said, it's stupid. It's stupid enough that I love it. And it actually does kind of give the roof the detail that it needs. Honestly, in the future, it might be a good place for a beacon beam to come through. That was an idea that I had to make it actually practical. But seeing it from up here, yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So on a completely random note, I just found out a secret entrance to a room through a layer of solid blocks just by using some scaffolding and your elytra. So if you are on your scaffolding and you just jump a couple of times, you'll actually activate your elytra, which is very convenient for flying. You can kind of see that I'm in fly mode right there. It's very hard to show it in third person. However, if we then go ahead and jump up a couple more times, we can actually jump right up through this layer of blocks without taking pretty much any damage at all, which is kind of cool. So you guys are of course welcome to use that for any nefarious reasons that you can think of. So the outside of this place still needs some work, of course. I'm gonna go through and do all the bushes and grass and trees and stuff like that, vines, make it look all natural and detailed. That will help a lot. Just cover it up with shrubbery. It'll look amazing. But now we need to finish off of the inside because I got distracted with the roof. As you can see, it's kind of plain and boring in here, so we kind of need to fix this up. I'm thinking we'll do a little bit of like a sloped roof going up until about there, just to kind of block off that entire backside of the building. We don't really need to go back there ever, unless something breaks, in which case I'll probably have like a little access route. Actually, you know what? We could build one of those right over here, just for symmetry's sake, because we have a little nook on the other side for our item input. So it is slowly but surely coming along, which is nice. I kind of extended the tops forward in this arching shape, and then I connected it up with some andesite. I would have liked to put a ring of this andesite around the outside as well, but unfortunately it doesn't really work with how we have the roof, so it's just gotta stay on the inside for now. But yeah, it's looking pretty good. We just need to kind of figure out what to do for these middle slices, and honestly, not entirely sure about that. I was thinking maybe some more of this hardened clay, although it doesn't really look that great. We need some like different color blocks in there. So another thing I was thinking is maybe like this stuff. And you know what? That kind of just looks like a hairless giraffe. I don't know why. I've never seen a hairless giraffe before, but if it was gonna look like anything, it'd probably look like that. Maybe it's just because I'm in a savanna biome, but yeah, we're definitely not going to use that. I don't know what to use this for, besides maybe planks. Thank you. That one's going to be facing forwards, whatever. You know what? That one's actually way better. Okay, jack-o'-lanterns it is. It does look good over here as well. And we got it over there too, so that I just kind of tied together the whole room. So I need to actually get some more pumpkins, and then I can just finish up these middle stretches. All right, so this place is actually looking pretty solid now. I do like it. I think it came together pretty well. Maybe the ceiling could use a little bit extra, but I'm not entirely sure where. Overall, I think it's pretty good. Added a little bit of that hardened clay up there to give it some more color. And I'm gonna leave all of the actual sectioning off of the chest, or, you know, actually filling them in with all the items until next episode, or just in between episodes, or maybe I'll do some of that on a live stream. Again, it takes a very, very long time to lay out all the chests. You gotta fill in every single slot. You gotta decide where and what you want in what chest. And we have 36 of those to do, so that is gonna take me quite a while. So I just tossed some items into our input chest over here, and as you can see, they're coming into our first chest up here, which proves that the system does work a little bit. So it's not a full-on test, but it does work. However, we're also getting the pumpkin seeds into the second chest as well, maybe even more than the first chest. Actually, it kind of looks like an even split. So we're gonna need to do some troubleshooting. I probably really should have tested these systems pretty thoroughly before building the entire building, but you know what, live and learn. You know what, actually, I'm pretty sure I've made the same mistake before, building the whole thing, decorating, then finding out it's broken. So, you know what, it's good to make your mistakes 5 or 6 times, just to really make sure that you learn your lesson from it. So I think another 3 storage systems in, doing the same process of having it be broken, then I'll finally learn my lesson to actually test it before you decorate it. That's a great saying right there. I should make some merch with that on it. Test it before you decorate it. Yeah, so likely I just misplaced something or got a repeater timing off somewhere. Shouldn't be too big of a fix, either that or it's realm lag. That's a much bigger problem to fix, and probably no real solution to that one, so let's hope I just misbuilt it. Yeah, this one over here clicks, so I mean, something is clearly wrong with this one. What is your issue? Why are you clicking? I have no idea. So yeah, we need to actually troubleshoot this thing properly. Did those items even go through? Not really. They're probably just stuck back there somewhere. I probably misplaced or didn't place something. Yeah, you know what? I'm not too worried about it. Let's just worry about that some other time. So I hope you all enjoyed today's episode of Truly Bedrock. Next episode is going to be very redstone intensive as well, because we of course need to finish up that sorting system. That thing clearly has a couple of issues. I should probably start a list because, yeah, there's clearly a couple issues with that one. We also need to decorate it a little bit better as well, and I need to design and build up some redstone automated gates for our village. We need 5 in total, and that is something that you guys suggested a couple episodes ago, is that we build up some portcullises or portcullisae or portcullis gates. I don't know how to say it. But yeah, that'll be a fun project. Never done anything like that before, so hopefully you guys do enjoy that. But if you did enjoy today's episode, be sure to leave a like on the video. It helps out the video and the channel significantly. If you're new here and you want to see more episodes like this, be sure to subscribe. But I will see you all down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you again for watching. And then there was silence.